What's up, peeps? Here we are. It's Norn Radd 89 here. On to Leprechaun 6, Back to the Hood. How good is this film? Did it live up? Is this a better outing? This second return to the hood for the Leprechaun? Sadly, it is not that great, so I don't really recommend this film. But if you were diving along with me in this Leprechaun franchise review and ranking, going through all the films, go run out and watch it and then come back and check out this video because we're going to be talking some spoilers. So Leprechaun 6 Back to the Hood is actually Warwick Davis's last outing as the Leprechaun. So for this last outing, I definitely expected and wanted some epic stuff because I was like, all right, let's send this man off good, because he dedicated like 10 years of his life to this movie. They filmed one in 93, 94, 95, 96, 2000, and then this one 2003. So pretty much, like I said, like he was in his 10 years of his life, he was like in this makeup that whole entire time. So let's talk about this film. We're going to follow a woman, her friend, who is her best friend, and two other guys that are find the gold, and they end up using the gold, kind of just splurging. It kind of harkens back to that first film where they just simply find his gold. Now the Leprechaun's after them. But sadly, this was not a good outing for the Leprechaun as we return to the hood. It just is another one that is kind of criminally a boring film. Warwick Davis, you can kind of tell by this sixth film, he's getting older and he's not able to do as much, so the stunts aren't really there, all kinds. He does have some quippy one-liners and stuff, but he's not really featured in this film that much. It feels like in these two films, his appearances just got less and less and less. And they kind of focus more on the writers of us getting used to and liking these characters, and we don't really like these protagonist characters, you know what I mean? They're not really protagonists. All the characters throughout the Leprechaun franchise, there are a few good ones here and there, but most of them are all just greedy bastards. So they're not really characters we're going to get into. They're there to show you how humans are greedy, and no matter what, even with faced with mystical death or evil leprechaun, humans are still going to go for the greed. And as I said, this film is just criminally boring. There's nothing really memorable. Probably the only great kill is our cop kill when he rips off the cop's leg, which really isn't that epic. But the officer's like doing karate on him, and then the leprechaun like rips off his leg. It's just the way it plays out. It's kind of funny. But the rest of the movie, just pacing-wise, all that kind of stuff, it's just a boring film. And for this to be Warwick Davis's last film, I definitely wanted more from this outing. And I think this film takes itself a little too serious. There's not really as much comedy. And when I'm used to where we are from Leprechaun 1 to 4, they're just climbing in terms of bonkers shit, quips, one-liners, ridiculous kills. There's a lot of great kills in those films, and they're dialing it up to 10, to 11. And this film takes it all the way back down, takes itself too serious, and it doesn't work at all. And you also, with these last films, they play with the Leprechaun's powers too much, and you don't really know what level that's at. Like, they don't consistently keep that through these two films in terms of what he can do and what he can't do, because there's a scene in this film, or like some of the other films, where he just points at people and does things, can lift things or explode people's chests by just pointing at them like that. And then in this film, he gets stuck behind a door trying to get into a bathroom, and that's like, you know what I mean? Like, so it just doesn't make sense. There's no continuity or consistency when it comes to the Leprechaun's powers in these last two films with Warwick Davis. And also, like I said, our characters are no characters to really get to know or like or anything like that. We have Sticky Fingers in this, which is kind of funny if you're like really into hip hop and rap. He's in this film. They got Ice-T in the previous one, so I think they spent a lot of money on that stuff, because you can tell that there's TV budget stuff, graphics and overlays going on and effects going on in this film, and it's just not that great at all. And like, to really have this be Warwick Davis's last outing, and to end it with the woman just grabbing the chest of his gold, she hits him in the face. They're on the roof, and she punches him in the face with the gold, and he falls into a vat of concrete, and then just drowns in the concrete. I'm like, really? You're gonna do me like that? This guy, as the Leprechaun's been blown up, he's been sent to space, he's been set on fire, stabbed, shot with 4-leaf clovers, like all kinds of stuff, and you're gonna do him like that and just end it. So it's like, I don't know how I really didn't enjoy that at all. This is actually the only film that actually has kind of like a little storybook intro for the Leprechaun and tries to give you kind of a little mini origin story in the beginning. So I kind of did like that aspect of the film, but then right after that, it was just kind of all downhill. And that's what sucks. But if it was like last minute, somebody gun to your head, do you want to watch In the Hood or Back to the Hood? I'd probably go In the Hood. That's going to be the one that I would pick. And this one does kind of fall into the same category as the previous film, is that it is just kind of criminally boring. There are some aspects of this movie that I do like, where it carries on and there's some funny moments and all this stuff, but overall, in general, just the story itself is too boring, and like I said, it takes itself too seriously. If it was more slapsticky comedy, or more like kind of like a scary movie type vibe thing, like if they kind of carried that comedy throughout the whole film, and like even like from the last one, there was a little bit of that in the hood, but if they carried that through these two films, I think it would have been a lot better. That would have been the best way to go with these films, but they really didn't do that. Thanks for sticking around with me all for this review of Back to the Hood with the Leprechaun, the 6th installment. In my book, this film's probably going to get like a 3.5 out of 10 or a 4 out of 10. This isn't a good watch or a good outing for the Leprechaun. Next, we're going to be on to Leprechaun Origins and Leprechaun Returns, which are going to be 2 first-time watches for me. I've never seen these films, so stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for sticking around with me all. And let me know in the comment section if you've seen this film, what you think of it. And have a safe and happy day. Peace out.